Our production is called Connections, and it's fantastic. Strange as it may sound, it's a very contemporary piece. It depicts our women's deep connection to Russian culture, to the rich tapestry of objects and rituals that connect women together. Whatever you say, you have to admit that the full-figured woman is still a key symbol of Russia. Why women? Why the big ballet? Their significance is clear. They're the ones who, down through the ages, have had the necessary strength to deal with the difficulties and solve the problems that we have in Russia.
I always knew I'd find myself. I never doubted for a second that I would make full use of my figure, so to speak. Knock, knock. Hey, girls! It's me, big as ever. Hi.
Hey!
We're trying our costumes on today, Ekaterina. It's hard to find any clothes that fit us in the shops. And those that do, only an old woman would wear. No one wants to make fashionable clothes for big women.
It doesn't matter if you're big-boned, you still want clothes to make you look beautiful and show off your figure. That's what I look to achieve when I'm making a dress for Ekaterina. We both enjoy it when she comes to have a new dress measured.
Girls come to the theater looking for a family atmosphere. And that's exactly what it's like. Of course, after a while, your private life takes a backseat and the ballet comes to the fore. And when people come in with feelings of dissatisfaction, stagnation, and unhappiness, performing can be a release. You can see the fire in their eyes. They come alive again.
Он живет.
All right, that's Yekaterina's part. It's finished. She killed it.
No one knows how hard we work here. Our legs hurt so much after constant rehearsals that almost all of us have to have injections before a performance.
Okay, get ready.
No one knows about our problems. The moment we step on the stage, we leave them behind.
The winner of the National Theatre Golden Mask Award, Evgeny Panfilov, presents a ballet entitled The Little Box.
The concept is to do an ironic take on the 7 deadly sins. The women are going to incorporate interpretations of their own personalities into the performance. You're the most beautiful big buttercups on God's green earth. Okay, now focus. Be beautiful. Break a leg. Aside from being their choreographer, I also know the girls well. And that's why I was able to assign them roles that they can live and breathe.
I am a very emotional person by nature. I really like the word lust, for example. The word love is a bit too vague. Lust is the part I'd like to play most of all. Or maybe wrath, because that's a feeling I'm also familiar with. I said right at the beginning that if they wanted me to play one of the deadly sins, I'd like it to be wrath. Because if things don't go my way, I'll go screaming and shouting, "What are you doing, you waste of space?" Look, there's a young handsome guy.
Let me introduce myself. I'm Vladimir Maximov, a psychologist, and I'm doing research on the relationship between the feelings of happiness actors experience on stage and in real life.
You've never seen us before?
No.
Neither have we. I don't like shrinks. They're always sticking their noses in where they're not wanted.
You can speak about whatever you like. As for sticking my nose in, we don't have to talk about anything you don't want to. Sometimes it's good to have a chat with a psychologist if there's something bothering you.
You mean problems?
No.
So problems are different to something bothering you?
Sure. A problem is when something hurts. But when something bothers you, it means everything's okay, but could be improved upon.
Improved upon?
Yes, improved upon.
Right, we'd better go.
Yes?
Thank you. We're glad you liked the performance.
Not all of it.
Girls, there's no ring on his finger.
Yes, there is.
A thin woman can be beautiful, of course. But then again, does that mean all thin women are beautiful? I really don't think that audiences consist of people who only like fat, or, for example, thin women. People come to our performances for the emotional charge, the positive energy. And we don't necessarily all have to be the same. Why should being beautiful mean being thin? I think it's wrong. The person should be naturally beautiful. Another performance we're giving is called The Women of 45. It's about simple Russian women like us who bore so much on their shoulders during the war, who survived the siege of Leningrad, who gave their food and water to their children and husbands. That's what life is like for us women. That's our lot. We're simple Russian women who wake up in the morning, go to work, come home again, cook dinner, and go to bed in the evening. Well, big-boned people also tend to be big-hearted. We give more than we receive. Everyone takes advantage of us. Sometimes people say nasty things to us when we go to buy food. Why don't you eat less, they tell us. And I think to myself, what the hell, I better eat less than you. I don't like cakes. And I hate full-fat yogurts and all this junk food. I want to be thin, just like everyone else. I have to be strong, because I know that men can't be trusted.
So let me get this straight. What you're saying is that you can't rely on men.
My idea of what a man should be is still based on how my father was when I was a child. He's dead now, but he was very strong. It's natural to compare every man I meet with him. I've also got a dog.
A big one?
No, a small one. It's quite old. I've got a boyfriend too. And
he's not
no, he's not
strong enough.
He would be if I gave him a chance, but I don't. I like to control everything, you see? And when I'm not in control, I feel really bad, I think.
So you feel lonely, am I right?
I guess if I was lonely, I'd be in tears all the time. Because I'm a woman. But I'll probably try to find something to do, grow potatoes in the garden, for example. I don't think I'm lonely.
I would say, for Ekaterina, the theatre has become a sort of refuge because she's accepted and understood in a way she's never been accepted or understood throughout her life. My question regarding feelings of loneliness provoked a very emotional reaction. For that reason, loneliness must be a sore spot for her.
My name is Svetlana Chazova. I work for a newspaper. I'm the deputy editor-in-chief. Daria, could you tell me what material you have for me? I work with journalists. My colleagues know that I dance in the big ballet. It's not always easy to combine my work and the ballet, though. Sometimes I have to leave the newspaper if I'm needed urgently. We hired a new employee recently. I said, I'm off to the show now. She asked, what are you going to see? I explained I was dancing in the big ballet. She said, but you're not that big. I told her, I'm just really beautiful. That's why you haven't noticed. She was really surprised. Big ballet. Wow.
Girls. When Svetlana joined us, it was a real blessing. She's very intelligent, and she reacts to everything very quickly. She's a real modern woman. Svetlana is really cosmopolitan. She could easily live in any big city, like Moscow or St. Petersburg, London or New York. When she first came to us, she had this magnificent hairdo. She's really sophisticated, you know?
One of my former colleagues, Andrei, once told me that men don't take kindly to rivals. It stuck with me because the theater is a very serious rival.
Do many of the girls in your theater have families?
No, very few. Very few.
How few is few?
Hardly any. I guess I would gladly leave the theater if there was a man in my life worthy of such a sacrifice. But I'd need to know for sure that it would be worth it. And then again, how am I ever going to meet someone in the first place if I'm busy all the time? At the moment, I don't want to be in a serious relationship with a man because then I might not be able to dance or do whatever else I might be interested in. I've been performing with this group for almost 12 years. I've already realized my potential, maybe not 100%, but 90% at least. I'd be willing to let it take a back seat, but unfortunately, I've yet to meet anyone worth giving it up for. I'll be playing Pride or Hubris. You're guilty of this sin every time you think that you're better than anyone else, for whatever reason. If you ever laugh at someone, for example, what you're saying, in effect, is that you think you're better than that person. It's such a widespread phenomenon, and it happens so often in our everyday lives that we've simply stopped noticing it.
Svetlana's playing Pride, and she is proud. In a good way. It's really funny to watch her perform. She's really, really good at getting it across. It's just the right role for her.
That's what I'm like. I'm so cool, and there's no one here worthy of being with me. I probably do have a tendency to come across like this when I talk to people. I can't deny the fact that, to a certain extent, it's a sin I'm guilty of from time to time. It's something I'll have to work on, I guess. There was a long-running joke in our theater group. You see, I read a book by Vishnevsky in which a man and a woman met on the internet and talked about things they had in common. One of them was horse racing, and another was Beaujolais, the French young wine. For about 3 years after that, I'd ask every man I met if they knew what Beaujolais was. It was a kind of a test.
A test?
Which no one passed. No one had a clue. Well, it was just a joke test, you know. But the girls still pull my leg about this sometimes. Are you still looking for your Beaujolais man, Svetlana? What can I say? I'm still looking.
She has more going on in her life than just her theatre group, but she's at a point in her life now where she's like a person who's late catching a train. She's in danger of not living her life to the max emotionally. But from what I've heard, it seems she's very demanding. She's expecting a lot from men, in my opinion. Beaujolais? Seriously? What for?
It was something I had always dreamt about. It was a dream which led me here, to this theater. And as soon as I arrived, I fell in love and gave my heart and soul to it.
In essence, she's conducting an experiment on herself. Can I, Tatiana Gladkih, become a real ballet dancer?
The little box is a fairy tale of sorts. I think I have the most demanding role of all the characters. It's far from easy to interpret sloth or despondency.
Tatiana's going to play the role of sloth, which is actually the deadliest of all the sins. In our interpretation, it's more about unrequited love, hopelessly hoping for something. Dreams, you could say. It's an absolutely perfect role for Tatiana.
There are periods in my life when it feels as if nothing's happening inside. Or maybe it's more like I'm digesting information. It's a feeling I get when something important is about to happen and I have to prepare myself. I think that's what despondency means to me. But it's not part of who I am. I really believe in fate. I'm sure that if something happens, it was meant to happen. I trained first as a sewing teacher, and then I got a degree in cultural studies. Then somehow I ended up coming here, making dresses for the actors. From the point of view that I'd got a degree to begin with, I thought working as a costume designer was a backward step. But now that I see all these people coming to me in the need of my help, I realize just how important it is that I'm here.
That's quite a fancy dress. How can we accessorize it? A wig, bracelets, a necklace?
How about a feather?
A feather. Absolutely, darling.
When you come here, you feel beautiful. You feel that people need you. And when it comes to the performances themselves, it's not some amateur thing. It's a real professional production. For the big girls who come and perform here, it's the chance to make art with a capital A. It really is high art.
The drum roll, the magnificent emotional power of Tchaikovsky's music, the limelight, and there she is, a swan. That's the representation of her dream coming true.
Do you like to cook?
Yes. I believe that I'm a talented person, and that I'm able to achieve good results in whatever I put my mind to.
Could I ask, are you married or single?
No, I'm not married.
Not married. So you only cook for yourself?
No, I also cook for my boyfriend.
I see. You don't want to get married on principle?
You know, it's just never been an ambition for either of us. I mean formal wedding and a marriage certificate. We've been together for a long time already. 14 years.
14 years together?
I believe that if people really love each other, they'll be together whether they are married or not. The only thing that really matters are their feelings for each other.
And what about children?
I'd rather not discuss that question.
Okay. Tatiana flatly refused to talk about children. She made it clear that she was not willing to discuss this subject publicly. If her relationship hasn't been registered officially, it means she's still looking. If the marriage were registered, it would mean she's committed herself to a family life. As there's no marriage certificate, it means her search is ongoing.
Every single one of us in the theater has a love life. We all have boyfriends. I don't know, maybe it's something to do with men, but they don't seem able to see a full-figured woman as a real woman. They aren't ready for commitment, and they don't want to make marriage proposals. Of course it's hurtful. I realize that some people may think that we only do ballet to make up for the lack of any kind of love life, that we come here to pretend that we're beautiful and desirable. Well, that's not the case. I'd never call myself an unhappy person.
I know that it might come across as naive or funny, that it may look as though I'm using the ballet to cover up my failures in everyday life. On the other hand, I really believe that miracles happen. I think it's just that I haven't met the right man yet.
I like to feel needed in some way. You know, it's like a maternal instinct, or maybe not even that. It's more like the feeling of friendship. And if that goes, everything's lost. If I stop being the unspoken leader, that will be the end of the ballet for me.
The theatre is a home from home for Tatiana, a safe haven for Ekaterina, and for Svetlana, it's more like a book that she reads over and over in the hope of finding her way in life. That's why the theatre is so important. They are getting from the ballet what they are lacking in their everyday lives.
The theater is a great healer. Not just the big ballet. It helps everyone involved. Actors, artists, everybody. We've come here to interact. The girls don't have any reason to spend a lot of time thinking about it, of course. But personally, I'm convinced that everyone comes to the theater to be safe.